So our next presentation, we're going to be seeing about Crime Scene VR, where you can solve crime from the comfort of your own home.
All right, so I'm Radomir Kucharski from Spectral Games, and I would like to present to you a game, A&E CrimeSceneAR, which is co-developed by Milkroom, who was mostly responsible for design, and by Spectral Games, who did most of the development. And the game is inspired by A&E crime investigation shows like First 48, Crime 360, or Live PD. And what we actually do here is we create a virtual crime scene in your real-life environment in your living room. So you can experience what it is to be a homicide detective and work on a crime. There are basically 3 stages in the game. You start with the crime scene, which is in your room, and then you move to autopsy and final interrogation. And the point is to find as much evidence and clues as possible so you can convict the suspect. We start with using AR core to detect the flat surface, and then we let the player to find a clear spot where we anchor the dead body, and then we spread evidence and clues around.
Generating crime simulation now. Like the other cases, this one ain't based on real life. The difference here, though, is you get a chance to use the evidence you find against a suspect in an interview. Our DRT is 68-year-old Reggie W., widowed, retired. Got a call from his son, Reggie Jr., when Dad missed a lunch date. Looks like your typical suicide, right? Woe is me, goodbye cruel world, I can't go on. Well, looks can be deceiving. Take a look around.
So now the player has to tag the dead body and then look around for the clues and evidence. He can also use special tools like luminol spray, fingerprint kit to collect more evidence. Finally, there are mini games which lets you analyze the evidence, the found things. This is DNA match. You need to work in your environment to match DNA, so you find more evidence. And when you got a lot of it, when you got enough evidence, you can find the primary suspect.
There's the entry wound. See, the powder burns from the shot seem to be spread out a bit too much. That means the gun was probably fired too far away from the vic's head for him to have fired it. This is good. There's the exit wound. It doesn't look big enough for a shot to be fired at that distance. Prescription sleeping pills. The script's made out to Reggie Jr. too. Let's see if we find any of that in our Vic's toxicology during the autopsy. There's a suicide note. So far, pretty cut and dry. Should be home by supper, right? It is odd that it's typed and printed, isn't it? There it is, the smoking gun. Looks like there's a partial on it too. Dollars to donuts that don't match our victim. Let's run it and see. Now that's a little strange. range. The print don't match either our Vic or anyone else in the database. Roger that. There's the exit wound. It doesn't look big enough for a shot to be fired at that distance. You know, if this were a movie, the coroner would be over there eating a sandwich.
All right, so when you find all the evidence in your room, you can move to the autopsy mode, where you can examine the body.
Let's take a look at what Doc found inside Reggie Sr.'s stomach, huh?
There's another minigame here, toxicology, which lets you find out if the victim was poisoned.
Reggie Jr.'s prescription, and enough to probably kill him without the gunshot. Could be Dad got tired of waiting around for the pills to take effect. Could be Reggie Jr.'s tried to pull a fast one. Circumstantial, but it's pretty strong stuff. The GSR test, gunshot residue test, can determine if someone, and in this case, Reggie Sr., fired a weapon. Go on and start the test. Results are negative. That's great news for us and crappy news for Reggie Jr. No way in hell Dad fired that weapon.
So after you find enough evidence to find a primary suspect, you can move to the last stage, which is interrogation. During interrogation, your aim is to get a convict, to get the...
That's none of your business. I was at home with my kids in my one-room apartment, my 1 weekend a month. Yeah, I picked it up when I got there and dropped it right away. Pops probably wanted you to find
So
it
you
right
want to
away,
get a
so
confession
you
from
can
the
get
suspect.
started on whatever paperwork you
The
needed
thing
to.
is, you need to
Even
tread
at death's
lightly,
door,
because
he was always
if
so
he gets
thoughtful.
too excited or too angry, he will call for a lawyer, which is basically the end of interrogation.
I have a prescription. Terrible insomnia. What with my dad's mental health and little Carson being so sick all the time. I usually keep them on me, you know. They must have fallen out of my pocket when I was leaning over his perfectly still body. He looked peaceful in a way. Happy. Sounds great. I haven't eaten yet today. I forget sometimes. I get so wrapped up in everything. You know, it makes sense, what with Dad dying and whatnot. You know, forgetting the little things.
All right. A&E Crime Scene AR is out in Play Store, so I would like to invite everybody to download it and playtest it. It was just featured by Google as a launch title for AR Core. And as everybody before me said, well, Unity made it a really seamless and great experience to develop the game. It was really quick, very easy. The integration of AR Core and Unity was great. It was plug and play solution, and the examples attached or examples included were really easy to understand. So it was very easy for us to develop the game. Thank you.